Welcome to Turning Inward. Our intention today is to open your heart and nurture your spirit as you travel on the road without miles, moving inward on your epic and personal journey of self-discovery. I am Rebecca Polvey, your co-host, and I'm here with Dr. Vivian Carrasco. This is the third episode of our spring 2015 season. We are excited to continue to share concepts from Love Being Human with you and grateful that you are here with us. Today, we'll be exploring the concept of power together.
This podcast offers you the opportunity to explore new perspectives through compelling interviews with beautiful human beings and words of wisdom and love. This show was created to guide and inspire you. If you're looking for more meaning in your day-to-day life, if you're looking to be wowed by everyday people, if you're on a journey to joy, peace of mind, freedom, or a wild new adventure, then honey, you are in the right place. Welcome to Turning Inward with Dr. Vivian.
Hello, Rebecca.
Hello, Vivian. How are you?
I am good. Before we started recording, I said it out loud, but I want to say it again for everyone listening. The kids in the neighborhood are chasing a butterfly, and they're teeny tiny. They're like there's like 5 of them, boys and girls, between 2 and like 7. It's totally adorable.
Oh, that sounds like so cute.
Doesn't it?
It does.
Spring. It's about chasing butterflies.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful, Vivian. I know today we're going to talk about power. And I said, I said, wow, power. I love this word. And you talk about the kids with the chasing the butterflies. And when the first thing that came in my mind for power was like running, taking off, flying with my hair blowing in the wind,
Nice.
And I thought just immediately of like, in strength, internal strength, and then the power of loving yourself as well as others. So I guess, Vivian, my first question is, how does power feel or fit into the Love Being Human experience?
Ooh, I didn't catch that first word, feel.
Feel. I like that. Feel and fit.
Well, a funny thing happened on my way to this podcast recording. I showed you the chaos of my new office. I've lost my notes. So, but the funny thing that happened is I went and checked out my Twitter profile for some reason, and it said that I reframed power, career, and relationship. And I thought, Vivian, that's very interesting. What do you mean by that? So I'm talking to myself, and I think that the way that power fits into Love Being Human and the way that power fits into my belief system is that it is not strength. It is not pushing. It is not the power of your will and force. It's this the image of, like you said, of your hair blowing in the wind, of moving towards like a butterfly that's just kind of fluttering in the wind. You don't know where it's going, but you know that that's the right direction and you're being pulled towards it. So I think the way that Love Being Human and power fit together specifically is that it is probably the exact opposite of what people think as far as solid strength. Power for Love Being Human is in the silence of your heart. So if there's a storm, like a tornado, tornadoes are big in Texas. If there's a tornado going on, the way that I think of power is that it's in the center. It's in the total calm, peaceful silence that has no noise. It has no sort of stirring around. That's the power. And that's where we generate our power from, is internally out of that silence. So that's the movement of power within Love Being Human.
Oh, I get that. That really makes sense. And Vivian, I was thinking about it, it might be hard to verbalize this, but also when I was thinking about powerful, I thought, I maybe this is similar to what you just said or different, but I feel powerful when I'm acting in love. And that to me, that was interesting. I said, I see that as being human. So we got a little play on love being human, but I feel that one can share power, or perhaps a better way to say that is empower others when you lead by example. Perhaps not just for oneself, but for others as well. So Vivian, is power in the love being human experience not just internal, but also external?
Well, there's something, it's definitely both internal and external, and it's something that you both feel and see in action. But I want to go back to your beginning statement where you said that you feel powerful when you act in love. I think that makes you, well, that's actually why I love you. But you are a very special person. You are a very... You feel powerful when you act in love. And my intention is to move forward in inspired action, which is love, right? Move towards that best action. But I don't think that the majority of people feel powerful when they act in love. I think they feel very vulnerable. They feel scared because love is scary. You know, when you're acting in love, you're acting in, you're being selfless. You're acting in the best interest of the other. And there is no self-interest for yourself. And that takes a lot of courage. So I just want to, acknowledge and commend you for that, because moving forward in love doesn't feel powerful to a lot of people. I think that power seduces you because you think that you're in control or that you have influence. And that's not the kind of power that you come from and that I come from. And I think the reframe and the insight and the new perspective that I want to share with the folks that are listening is just to notice the difference. Notice the difference of when the power is generated from within you, from within that silence of your heart, and when you're generating power or attempting to generate power through force and through coercion and through control. And the idea of movement to become power. Niagara Falls, as I understand it, it powers all this energy because the water is flowing to its natural state. And I believe our natural state is love. But, here's, from my notes, I remembered something. Power Rangers. Have you heard of the Power Rangers?
Yes.
I love the Power Rangers. I don't actually love them, I'm not going to lie. Joshua loved the Power Rangers when he was 5 years old. That was a long time ago.
Oh.
But I used to, by default, watch the Power Rangers because he enjoyed them so much. And there was this thing that they did. They all have these beautiful colors and they each represent something. But they would lift up their arms, almost like Wonder Woman, pa, 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 pa. And so I think that that's what we do daily without intention, without awareness of what we're doing. We block, because we're thinking we're being powerful, and we're actually blocking the power that's coming at us. We're blocking the power of the opportunity in that moment. And so that's the kind of idea that I wanted to have folks swim around in their brain is this, on the outside, you think you're being powerful and you're strong and you're like block, 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 block. But you're actually not allowing what naturally wants to come forth through you and for you to be born. And so that's why, for me, power is in that silence, in that fluidity, in that vulnerableness. There's no strength in the center of the storm, but that's where the power is.
Oh, I love that, Vivian. I love that explanation. And, it's true. I can really feel it when I meet someone, and if they're open to receive the love or you can really tell, you can feel it. And then if they feel like they're being controlling to me, I want to run in the opposite direction.
Yeah, I get that sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't run fast enough usually. I have to sit and move through the pain for a little while.
Yeah, it can be painful. I know.
You're more smarter than I am.
Well, so I got to thinking about it, Vivian, and I felt, there's a lot of different ways as humans that we might experience power. And so I thought, well, what are the ways? It could be physical, mental, organizational, and maybe even authoritarian. So, Vivian, other than the two ways that I'm aware of to select to deal with power by either going with the flow or opposing it, are there other ways to react to the power?
Ooh.
I think we led right into that question.
Yeah, we did.
That was an accident. That was an accident.
There are no accidents. There are coinciding actions. I love it. The thing. Okay, so flow, definitely. Okay, I'm gonna have to ask you the question again. But what stuck out for me in your words was the word that you used. You said reaction. There is no power in a reaction. A reaction, you know how you go to the doctor's office and they hit the kind of the bottom of your knee and your leg kicks?
Yep.
Well, there's so many things about being human that are just reactionary. And I heard Dave, I'm going to mess up his name, but he does the Bulletproof Coffee because I love that stuff. And I heard him talking in a webcast or some sort of thing where he said that humans are like Labradors. You and I love Labradors.
I love Labradors.
Black ones, to be specific.
Oh, yes.
So he was describing humans as Labradors, and he said that our meat sack, our bodies are built to do three things. One, to lose our focus, right? We need to pay attention to everything because our bodies are in survival mode, and they want to know if there's a tiger around the corner. We don't live in a place where there are tigers. Well, some people might, but we don't live in a place where there are tigers around the corner where we have to go, oh, there's a squirrel. Hey, 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 hey. Like Labradors do. And then the second thing is that out of survival, a Labrador is just going to put his nose in any kind of food, no matter what it is. My Labrador does. She makes herself sick all the time. And I think we do the same thing. Out of survival, we're consuming and consuming and consuming. And that's a reaction. And then the third thing that he said was, like controlling the whole physical part of it. And it's like, I don't know how to be coy about it. It's just the whole humping the leg kind of thing, that is the humanness of us, so the idea is that you have to watch and notice and pay attention to the reaction of the body and then respond as a being. And so you don't want to, some things are just natural. I actually made a note to myself in this week's journal, and it said, your emotions don't matter. I was talking to myself. Your emotions don't matter. They're like the clouds. You have to let them pass. And that's kind of the point that I'm getting to in a roundabout way is there are some things that are instinctual because of our systems of our body. But we as a spirited being move forward and move through that with love, with devotion, with a sense of duty, and figure out the difference for ourselves in what is a reaction and what is a response. So that's the key sort of insight that I am getting from your question is we don't respond, we don't react. There's no power in a reaction. There's no power in this, flare up of screaming and ugly words. There's no power in that. The power is from within, and it's from a more loving response. And loving doesn't mean that you have to, say yes and agree and concede and sacrifice and, whatever. Loving is just an awareness of the essence of that other person and you being a spirited being versus an animal kind of reaction.
Oh, that's beautiful, Vivian. I love that. Well, I kind of have I don't know if this is a question exactly, but when I said the word power in relation to our conversation today, my first thoughts were, oh, I get it. I own it. I'm in charge of my power and the power of loving myself and others. And I can have this power on many levels and treasure that feeling of freedom that comes along with recognizing your own power. And I think because I experience power in a loving and giving way, to me, that's genuine. So I'm not sure what the question is here, but perhaps maybe I'm just going to ask you, am I interpreting power in the love being human experience?
Yes, I totally agreed with that. I totally agreed with that. Yes. I think, and I think the other thing is that when we're not being Power Rangers, when we're not lifting up our arms to block off magic, I had a dream once, and it's really stuck with me. And I don't know where I was. Dreams are kind of funny. But the main thing about the dream is that there were doorways everywhere. And I was in a hall with doors. And I could have picked any door that I wanted to. And I think that that's a little bit like what you're saying is we are creating in this moment. The power is in the creation of living through this moment, through what's happening right this second. And not resisting what is, but finding what wants to be. And so in that dream, I was sort of peeking in and they had little windows, and I'd peek in, and I'd say, well, what door do I want? And that's exactly what you're saying is, you have the power to create. We all have the power to create. In the alchemy circle, the whole class was about your life as your canvas. Your life as a painting that you are drawing. And the cool thing about canvases I have figured out is that if you don't like something, you can wash it away. You can erase it. So we don't erase our lives, but we definitely co-create what we're living. And that is powerful living. That's a good life. So yes, I like saying yes.
Good. Thank you, Vivian. I've really enjoyed this conversation today. And we also thank our audience very much for being here with us. And if you enjoyed the conversation, we invite you to connect with us by joining our inner circle at viviancarrasco.com. And I will close today with a final thought from Vivian. Remember, move with purpose and take inspired action.
Thank you for joining us today here on Turning Inward with Dr. Vivian. If the show moved the needle for you, please leave an honest review in iTunes. And also make sure you cruise on over to viviancarrasco.com and join us for personal strategies and tips to help you move forward. Ciao, baby.